Do you believe that a successful man, a well-known dentist, a father of 6 well-behaved children, could actually be the one secretly poisoning his own wife, bit by bit, right in the protein shakes he lovingly prepared for her each morning? In today's video, you'll discover the chilling truth behind a case that shocked America when James Craig, a respected dentist in Colorado, methodically planned the murder of his wife of 20 years with a deadly poison that's nearly impossible to detect. If you believe this story is important, please hit the subscribe button and share this video so that more people can understand the horrifying reality that can hide behind the image of a seemingly peaceful family. Now, let's rewind to March 2023, when Angela Craig, a beautiful, strong woman and mother of 6, was suddenly hospitalized with symptoms of vomiting, fatigue, and unexplained dizziness. She complained of what felt like a lingering flu, but doctors couldn't pinpoint any medical cause. She was discharged, only to return days later in even worse condition. The third time, she was admitted in critical condition and never woke up again. As soon as Angela's death was announced, her friends and family in Aurora, a suburb of Denver, Colorado, were stunned. She had been healthy and cheerful, a devoted mother. Why would she die so suddenly? Could it have been a rare medical incident? But while her loved ones were organizing the funeral, investigators had already begun following a trail, and they quickly realized this was not a natural death. Angela's final hospital stay lasted several days. Her doctors grew suspicious when she failed to respond to standard treatment. One of them ordered a toxicology screen, and the results shocked everyone. Traces of potassium cyanide, a highly toxic substance, were found in her body. Police launched a discreet investigation. They collected data from the family home and from James' dental office. What they found unveiled a calculated, cold-blooded plan built carefully over weeks, if not months. On James's office computer, they found a deeply disturbing search history. How to make murder look like a heart attack. Is arsenic detectable in autopsy? How much cyanide kills a human? He had also watched YouTube videos titled Top 5 Undetectable Poisons and articles on how to mix odorless, colorless toxins that couldn't be traced. And that wasn't all. Investigators also found receipts for orders of toxic substances, including arsenic, potassium cyanide, and tetrahydrozoline, a chemical found in eye drops that can suppress the nervous system if ingested. These packages were shipped directly to the dental clinic where James worked. A colleague later recalled questioning why cyanide had been delivered, but James casually dismissed it as being for research purposes. At home, James continued to live like everything was normal, taking the kids to school, posting sorrowful tributes to his wife on Facebook, attending the funeral with a somber face, holding his children's hands. But behind those grieving eyes was a man who had planned everything from the beginning, even drafting a fake suicide letter, imitating Angela's handwriting to make her death appear like a suicide. But why would a man who had it all, a beautiful wife, loving children, a successful career, commit such a terrible act? The answer was found in James's secret email inbox, where police uncovered hundreds of intimate messages between him and another dentist, Corinne Kane, from Texas. Angela had long suspected her husband of cheating, and the evidence revealed that James had been having an affair for months. Corinne appeared to be the other woman he had promised a new life with once Angela was gone. Angela almost uncovered the truth. During her second hospitalization, when she was starting to recover, she texted a close friend, "I think James is doing something to me. I'm not sure, but something feels off." Sadly, she never got the chance to say more. And that was the fatal moment, when a woman realized she might be getting poisoned by her own husband, but didn't have enough proof to save herself. While the family and community believed this was a sudden natural death, investigators had already gathered enough evidence to make an arrest. On March 19th, 2023, just one day after Angela died, James Craig was formally arrested and charged with first-degree murder. But that was only the tip of the iceberg. In the next part, you'll learn why this case would soon become far more serious, when from inside jail, James began plotting to kill the lead detective and attempted to manipulate witnesses to create fake confessions and shift the blame. After his arrest on March 19, 2023, James Craig was held at the Arapahoe County Detention Center in Colorado, awaiting trial for first-degree murder. But the case didn't end there. As investigators continued to collect evidence, they began to notice something alarming. Even behind bars, James appeared to be trying to manipulate the investigation. And this scheme wasn't just about faking evidence. 1 year after Angela's death, prosecutors filed 2 extremely serious new charges against James Craig, one for attempted murder of a lead investigator, and the other for witness tampering, both of which were allegedly orchestrated from within the jail. According to records released by the Arapahoe County District Attorney's Office in mid-2025, James had secretly approached another inmate and asked him to, quote, take care of something important. That inmate, after agreeing to cooperate with law enforcement, told investigators that James had directly requested a murder to be arranged. The target, Detective Bobby Olson, the lead investigator on the case and the person who had gathered most of the evidence against Craig. The payment James allegedly offered for the job was $20,000. He even drew diagrams, provided details of the detective's workplace and schedule, and stated clearly, if she dies, the whole case falls apart. This wasn't just idle talk. It was a serious, coordinated murder plot prepared while in custody. At a hearing in May-June 2025, the prosecutor presented an audio recording of James and the inmate, along with handwritten notes outlining the plan. The courtroom fell silent. A man who once poisoned his wife was now allegedly trying to kill the detective investigating him. And it didn't stop there. Throughout his detention, James also tried to falsify evidence that could change the nature of the case. According to new allegations from prosecutors, he wrote a series of fake suicide letters, supposedly authored by Angela. In those letters, she claimed she was depressed, had suicidal thoughts, and even admitted to intentionally putting cyanide into her own drinks. James planned to have someone, either a friend or another inmate, impersonate Angela's close friend and testify that Angela had been talking about ending her life. Fortunately, all of this was uncovered before it could reach court. James's legal team initially declined to comment on the new charges. However, within weeks, both of his primary attorneys withdrew from the case, citing irreconcilable differences in strategy and conflicts over legal approach, which caused the trial to be postponed for several more months while new counsel was appointed. By this point, the public was no longer just focused on Angela's death. A larger question had emerged. What else was James Craig capable of? And could the justice system protect witnesses, investigators, and ensure a fair trial when the defendant was actively trying to sabotage the entire process? When asked during a press briefing, Detective Bobby Olson, the intended target, responded simply, "I'm not surprised. Because if he could poison the mother of his 6 children, there's no limit to what he'd be willing to do." At this stage, the case had evolved far beyond the story of a broken marriage or a crime of passion. It had become a portrait of a deeply dangerous man, willing to sacrifice anyone, his wife, his children's mother, even a detective, in order to protect himself. On July 8, 2025, at the Arapahoe County Courthouse in Centennial, Colorado, the trial of James Craig officially began. The courtroom was packed, not just with reporters, but with Angela's family members, her mother, siblings, and close friends, all of whom had waited 2 years to witness the moment justice would speak. From the very first day, the prosecutor delivered a cold but powerful opening statement. James Craig is not a grieving husband who lost his wife. He is a man who used medical knowledge and family trust to slowly poison her. And when he felt cornered, he went as far as to plot the murder of a detective. The entire trial lasted several days. The evidence presented left the courtroom in stunned silence. First came the Google searches found on Craig's computer, with terms like how many grams of arsenic can kill a person, undetectable poisons, can cyanide be traced in autopsy? Then came the emails, dozens of intimate, romantic exchanges between James and his mistress, Corinne Kane, revealed that he had planned a fresh start with her once Angela was dead. In one message, he wrote, "Just a few more days, then everything starts again, just the two of us." But the most damning piece of evidence was a video from a home surveillance camera in the kitchen showing Angela reacting to James' behavior. In the video, she's seen confronting him and showing clear anger and frustration, contradicting James's later suggestion that Angela might have been suicidal. Prosecutors argued that this footage captured Angela's awareness that something was deeply wrong, though she couldn't yet prove what it was. The defense attempted to push two angles. First, that Angela may have suffered from depression and taken her own life. Second, that the chemicals could have come from sources other than James. But both arguments were dismantled quickly by forensic reports, Amazon purchase records, and testimony from James's co-workers at the dental clinic. On day 6 of the trial, Corinne Kane, the woman with whom James had an affair, took the stand and gave a surprising testimony. She told the court that James had said things like, "Soon it'll just be us," and that he had never told her Angela was seriously ill. She confirmed she had cut off all contact with James after learning that Angela had died from cyanide poisoning. Then Angela's mother, Margaret, was invited to speak. She couldn't hold back tears. "My daughter was a kind woman who gave everything to her family. She didn't deserve to die like this. She didn't commit suicide. She was betrayed and murdered by the very man who was supposed to protect her." On July 12, 2025, after nearly a week of trial, the jury deliberated for less than 3 hours before returning their verdict. Guilty of first-degree murder, guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, guilty of attempting to manipulate a criminal investigation. The judge handed down the sentence, 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, ensuring that James Craig would never again set foot outside prison. During sentencing, he remained emotionless. He didn't look at his children, he didn't apologize, he didn't speak a single word. Angela Craig's story isn't just a shocking murder. It's a painful reminder for all of us. Sometimes the greatest danger hides in the most familiar places. James Craig wasn't a stranger. He wasn't a criminal with a record. He was a respected dentist, a father, a husband, and a man trusted by everyone around him. And yet, he used that image, along with his professional knowledge, to design and carry out one of the most cold-blooded murders in recent memory. He almost succeeded. If not for one suspicious doctor who ordered a toxicology screen, if not for detectives who followed every lead, if not for friends who listened to Angela's warnings, the truth may never have come to light. Angela once said, "I think James is doing something to me," but she couldn't prove it. She didn't have time. This case teaches us that when a loved one says something feels wrong, we need to listen. We need to ask more questions. We need to speak up. That single moment of awareness might be the only chance someone gets. If this video moved you, please help share it. You never know who might need to hear this story. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more true crime cases that reveal what lies beneath the surface. Thank you for watching.